All right, we are back on the River's Edge Radio Network, and we've tracked down Jordan, and you have to understand, important people often are late. The world revolves around them. I understand that as another local Pittsburgh celebrity, so I definitely can understand how these things can happen. I mean, it's the nature of the business. When you're just so popular and in such demand, people just, they just have to make accommodations, right?
I guess. I'm not usually like this. It's Monday, so that's
No, it's all good. No, I mean, I go to places and people open doors for me, so I'm just saying I can relate. That's all. So
fair enough.
yes, but you're working on a big project, and I'm very excited. We were talking all day about the connection between sports and music, and you're working with two twins, Connor and Calvin Rezende. Is that correct? And we have Mike McMullen with us as well. He's kind of the mastermind that's kind of set all of this up. He's with us here every week. He's doing double duty this week. I believe next week you'll be doing triple duty. Yes, he'll be doing triple duty next week. So he'll be back to his normal phone call. We'll have his picture up on the screen if you're watching on the video. But this is very cool, and it's an interesting story, and they're the only twins in Major League Soccer that are playing on the same team.
Well, a little backup. There's Major League Soccer, USL Soccer, and the North American Soccer League. They're the only set of twins actually in all of the United States in all three divisions. They played in the North American Soccer League for Miami FC, but they're the only set of twins on the same team from Davie, Florida, from Broward County, but they're the only set of twins in the entire country. So
which is awesome.
Honestly, I'm biased. I'm very biased. It's a big freaking deal.
Yeah, they're like the Sedin twins in hockey, only for football or soccer, as you commoners say.
Worldwide, so it's like honestly even bigger than football, to be honest.
Correct. When I approached Jordan with this, I think outside the box. I never sleep as it is. 528, I messaged him on Facebook Messenger. I said, hey, I've got this crazy idea. Long story short, after a month of negotiating and everything, we signed a deal July 1st, and we're going to be going down to Davie, Florida, July 24th or 26th to video it.
Yeah, that'll be cool. And are you into soccer, Jordan? Have you gotten into it before?
I've caught in a few Riverhound games in Pittsburgh before. I watched the World Cup, root for Italy. I'm Italian. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. The thing that people don't realize is that sports and music connect so much. And for me to really, I'm a sports lover. Like, I don't watch TV. I have ESPN on, like, when I fall asleep, when I wake up.
Yeah, I know you're a sports fan based on your postings and things like that.
It's just the culture of it. I love it. Obviously, you can't be from Pittsburgh and not like sports. And I was born in Miami, so it's kind of like my homecoming. And this is like a big deal because, they're pro soccer players. We're doing this song, and it's going to tell the story, about their life, and, it's me coming back to my roots. So it's like, honestly, this is a blessing. I'm very grateful for everything. So.
Now, you are from Florida. Why did you move to snowy Pittsburgh? Because most of us are trying to go the other direction.
Yeah, well, I was young and didn't have a choice. My father, unfortunately, passed away when I was younger. Sorry. And yeah, it's fine. And my mom moved back up here, and my family's originally from here.
Okay.
So, Pittsburgh, we stayed here. I mean, I still go down and visit. My aunt lives down there still and still have some family. So, I mean, I was born in Dade County and then moved up here to snowy Pittsburgh and been here since. So.
Now, do you have any twins in your family?
No. Well, my brother could be my twin, but we're not twins.
Okay,
no,
you neither?
I have a younger brother, 2 years younger.
Can you, either of you, tell the two twins apart on the team? Just if they weren't together, like if they just came up to you and they said, hey, what's up? Would you be like, hey, Calvin, or would you be like, hey,
I'd have to maybe do a second glance. If they had their backs turned, definitely. But I think since we've seen them on the Skype, I've seen them. You've seen them.
I've known the twins. How I've met them here again. I've refereed college soccer, professional soccer and high school soccer for 30 years. Refereed thousands of players. I refereed them in college when they were out at St. Francis University in Pennsylvania. And that's the other tie. They played in Italy, Spain, and Brazil. They have Brazilian passport. Their father's from Brazil. And these two players have more passion and energy than I've ever met. And I've refereed them in college, and we've connected ever since. So I've known them for well over 2 years. But to answer your question, I know them well enough. I know their moves well enough. I can spot them.
It's interesting. My father's an identical twin, And when you have a twin that close to you in your family, you almost have a superpower where I can immediately tell two twins apart. Immediately, at first glance, I can notice like something immediately,
Yeah.
and they could come up to me out of the blue, and I'll know exactly which one is which, and it always drives me nuts whenever people. And I guess maybe I'm kind of biased because I have a twin in
Yeah.
the family,
It's
but it
different when you're
drives me.
around it.
Well, it
Probably.
drives me nuts
Yeah.
when people say, "Oh, the twins" or "one of the twins." It's like, take the goddamn time to learn who's who because they're two different people.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me that people they don't take the time, and I don't know if it's because if I get aggravated because I have a twin in the family,
Yeah.
and I can instantly pick up on that, and maybe other people just aren't as perceptive. I don't know.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I think if you know them, like you said, you've been around them. I mean, I know him now just from the Skype, so
Yeah.
I'll be with him there. I mean, I'm really excited again. I'm
Have you started watching soccer more?
Yeah, I actually have.
Do you think
Well, I
that?
watched their highlights. I was like amazed. I'm like.
Do you think there's more connection to music stylistically in soccer because they often call soccer poetry in motion?
Yeah.
Poetry is somewhat lyrical.
I mean, it's definitely again. I'll say this again. Sports and music intertwine like no other. I mean, you listen to music to get pumped up. You want to get pumped up before a match, before a game. Even if it's practice. So that's what I really feel like this project is going to get. And again, it's telling a whole story about it. Like when you can give a song and tell a story, it's going to intrigue people more, and they're going to be like, okay, who are these twins? Who's this Jordan York guy? That's what I want to get out of this.
Sure. Matt Geica was on earlier in the program. He's the Pirates beat writer for DK on PittsburghSports.com, and he mentioned the NFL films and the music that added to that. I honestly don't know if the NFL films would have taken off with any kind of popularity if it was not for that music. That kind of the music itself almost told the story of what was going on the field.
Yeah, I mean, they have like the jock jams and stuff. Like it's like dedicated to just pump up music. That's what I used to listen to before my t-ball games and stuff when I was younger. So.
And Brian, one thing with this project is that this has not been done before.
Okay.
I think big, and like I said, I can't predict. He can't predict. None of us can predict how big this is going to get.
Sure.
We did a press release last Thursday morning. We're reaching out to a lot. We're going to release it early August, like August 6th, 5th or 6th, somewhere in that time frame. But can you talk about a little bit about the song it's entitled? And
well, that's what I was going to ask.
Okay.
Is
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Tell us what story are you telling?
Like just basically, it's kind of weird because like when I was doing this, like it was like the weekend dream thing. Like that's how I am. People told me my whole career, Jordan, you'll never make a name for yourself. This and that. You're wasting your time. Here I am now, and it's kind of like they were denied, playing and went through all this, stuff to do to get to where they're at, and it's kind of like I told my story through their eyes, but I told it, what happened with them, but I can still relate to it because it's like that struggle story.
When did you start taking off in your career? When did you start getting to that point where you? I mean, it's always going to be a struggle because you're always trying to get to that next level. But when did you finally kind of?
I would honestly say probably about 2 years ago when I started to get bigger shows.
And how old are you now?
25.
Okay, so you were like 23. Yeah, I mean I'm turning 30 in September, and you mentioned about the people telling you, that you can't get it or whatever. And there's a song that's out there, 21 Pilots, and
if you can turn back time, or the stressed out one.
The stressed out one, yeah. And I think about that one, and I'm thinking, they say, oh, it's time to make money because you're an adult. Hey, you need to pay the bills, and you're just like, no, I'm gonna do this. And there is that struggle that people have, and I think it's interesting that I don't always think of that when you think of athletes. I do. Maybe because I'm so around the music industry, you always think of the struggling artist trying to get there. But that is true in sports. It can be there as well.
That's what I was just telling him on the way down here. Is like people don't realize that it takes one thing to change your whole career, your whole life. It's like. So many times, I wanted to quit because, I was going through stuff, stressed out. I'm stressed out, every day. But I know that it's going to be worth it, and it's already been worth it because my music's taken me places that I would have never thought it would have. So, and now I'm focusing on a more national level than just Pittsburgh, and I really think like this Miami project is going to be the start, of a lot of good things.
So, Mike, where did you come up with this idea? Why did you come up with this idea?
That's a great question. A lot of people think it was a crazy idea, but we're sitting here, and after a month of negotiating, I just thought because it's a unique story. But on a sidebar, I do all the Twins social media.
Okay.
But their passion is for soccer. I mean, you know, I have not met more players who have more passion and more dedication to play at the professional level.
Mm-hmm.
They're in with a new franchise, Miami FC in the North American Soccer League. One of the Twins, Connor, is hurt right now. Calvin is getting a lot of playing time as a rookie. But the answer to your question is that the opportunity, I just thought, what can I do to help?
Mm-hmm.
I like to think outside the box. But ultimately, I'm thinking music, because one thing with Jordan in his career, I mean, Wiz and Mac Miller started out at the same time, and I think he's well on track
Mm-hmm.
to be there. If you looked at it, looked at his song, you can follow him on Twitter, Jordan York, Jordan York Music, correct, on Twitter. He just did the Pittsburgh song. It's got close to 300,000 or 400,000 hits.
That's what really helped me, like making stuff that people can connect with,
Mm-hmm.
and that really, that got the media's attention. It
Sure.
it even got people who aren't from Pittsburgh, who are in other states in America. They're like, hey, I love Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh's everywhere. I mean, there's a Permanis in South Beach. We know that.
Well, I was just going to say that. Here again, I'm biased towards Pittsburgh, and I've been talking to the Permanis owner, who was originally from Pittsburgh, started in the Strip District, a Penn State graduate.
Yes.
I'm calling him after the show to finalize all the details. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but he's going to let us use his location.
Okay.
Hey, this is hot news.
There's
This
three.
is, breaking right here on the River's Edge, of course.
There's 3 Permanis in Miami-Dade, Broward County. He has one right on Fort Lauderdale Beach that is modeled after the one in the Strip District that
Really?
he worked at.
I didn't even know that.
Is the same with the murals and everything?
The same murals, the
Wow.
same, and he's going to let us use his location to film inside. And a little plug, I'm biased. I mean, Jordan has his own Terrible Towels here.
Ah, nice.
So
Very cool.
we're going to actually wave Terrible Towels doing this. So it's more of a Pittsburgh-Miami connection. So
Yes.
when people see it, there's going to be Permanis in the video at some sort. We've got to figure out the details, but that's the uniqueness of this. So no matter where you go, there's a Pittsburgh theme everywhere.
Very cool. Brian Crawford here on the River's Edge Radio Network, going into extra innings here at it's just about 11 a.m. and we have Jordan York and Mike McMullen here across the room from me here. And Jordan, we've talked about the Twins story. Tell me a little bit about your story.
Like my career story. Or just
Yeah,
like my
in
life?
talking, well, both.
Yeah. Well, I mean, basically, when I first started, I don't consider myself just a rapper. That's why, like.
Well, you're not, and I was
That's
going to ask you, what genre do you could classify yourself as? Because you're really unique.
I'm just me. I mean,
well, that's good. I like that.
I'm just like, I don't, I act.
Mhm.
I eventually want to do comedy when I get a little bit older. I'm just an all-around entertainer. I can, if you give me a microphone, I basically can, intrigue the crowd, I guess you can say. But I started off, I didn't even do this in high school, and it kind of just started me having fun with it. And then my one buddy came back from Penn State, and he was like, hey, I have all this equipment, do you want to record? And I'm like, sure. And then I started putting out stuff on YouTube, and then 6 months later, I ended up in the newspaper and won a radio contest in California and started building a fan base and just stuck with it. I mean, the thing is that I'll tell anyone is you have to stick with it. I mean, that's with anything. I mean,
Sure.
People think like there's like a secret to success unless you have.
Well, there is.
Yeah. Go ahead. What is it?
48 hours no sleep.
Okay. Yeah. That. But yeah, lots of nights like that. But
yes.
I mean, it's just I enjoy it. I think that's what people lose. That like I'm obviously there's a lot of business now, but I always still if I wasn't enjoying it, I wouldn't still be doing it, and that's like what propelled me to get to where I'm at. I've shared the stage with celebrities. I've done songs with celebrities. I've been able to take my music places. Mike came with this opportunity. I mean, I'm really excited for this. Like, I mean, when I tell you like this is like gonna be I think it's gonna take me national. I think because that's how I'm, and I'm gonna do whatever I can to make this song as big as
We've got a lot of goals because
Yeah.
I mean, I think outside the box. I'll be damned as God is my witness. We're gonna make ESPN, and we're gonna make one of the late shows.
What are you getting out of this?
I get nothing.
Nothing.
He gets to join the entourage.
There you go.
I mean, look, I'm behind the scenes. I get absolutely nothing. What I get out of this is helping 3 young people promote themselves in their career.
Yeah, very cool. So, y- uh, what inspired you to build your style of music? And not so much like, who's your musical
Yeah.
inspiration, but like you have brought kind of different styles together to form your brand.
Yeah.
And I think that's unique. I like that about you.
That's
And
the thing. Like, I didn't have a musical background, like.
but you had to have listened. Obviously,
Yeah,
you're a
old
fan of
school.
music. So,
Old school, definitely.
are you somebody like I look at like like this network, and we have everything from hip hop to big band to bluegrass
Yeah.
all on the same station. Was that you? Were you somebody who listened to all different types of music when you were younger?
Classical music.
Classical music?
I listen to everything. I honestly could not tell you last time I listened to the radio. Like, I'll listen to like Pandora or something, but like sometimes I'll get in the shower and turn on like Marvin Gaye and listen to that type, or the Rolling Stones or something
Sure.
like that. Like, or sometimes I'll listen to rap music, mostly old school, because I like music with substance. So
Yeah, and I agree, and I know myself. I got into talk radio actually because of how much I loathed traditional radio.
yeah,
Because you just always heard like you could like Mark Madden, for example. He used to have music during his show. I could literally predict the next song that was going to be aired
yeah,
because it was literally the same playlist every day because he didn't care about the music. Not that he doesn't care about music. If you listen to him, he does. He just
yeah.
doesn't like the music they play on the X. And they probably were restrictive on what they could play anyways. So you kept hearing the same things over and over every
Yeah.
day. And I grew to hate listening to music on the
That's
radio.
how the radio is. It's just repetitive. They'll play the
Yeah.
top 40 songs, and that's pretty much it. That's why, I have a record player at my house. I'll go to the store,
Yeah.
get records, and listen to people I don't even know. So I'm definitely old school.
Yeah, and I agree, and that's what drove me to talk radio. And then whenever we built this network, it is diverse for that reason because we want, our goal is to be able to listen to the network for 24 hours and not hear the same song twice. That's the goal that we're striving for
Yeah.
here. So
It's a pretty cool place. I'll come hang out.
Well, just to
Yeah,
give,
right.
give a little plug, what's your how can people follow you on social media?
Just at Jordan York Music on Instagram and Twitter, and then also / on Facebook. My name is Jordan York, and you can get my album Pittsburgh Living on iTunes, all the major music outlets, and I'm really looking forward to this upcoming project in Florida, and just gonna be a household name. Just be on the lookout.
And
So
to,
how
fo-
do you?
and to follow the twins, it's Calvin Rezende on Twitter and Connor Rezende 22 and Calvin J Rezende on Facebook and Connor S Rezende on Facebook. So, but Brian will have links up later.
Yeah, they're all. We've tweeted them out and Facebooked them, so you can.
Just got to get that extra 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Thanks
just gotta
to
click
everyone
them in.
who's tuning in. We're on live, so if you want to wave.
As well, we're live in multiple places.
We're live on Facebook, one of the new Facebook mention features. A lot of people don't use it. I'm going to be using it in my double duty at the my next.
I'm trying to use it, but you know what? Facebook's such a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And like I'm so aggravated with Facebook. I talked about this before on my show. They wanted me to get an app on my phone for pictures. Well, I've already got
That's weird.
a Facebook app.
Yeah.
It
How
doesn't
many
work.
apps do they want you to
I've
have?
already got a Facebook Messenger app. It doesn't work. I've already got a Facebook for Business app.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. None of their apps work. Why don't they actually fix one of their apps before they try to cram another one down your throat?
Write 'em a letter.
I just got Facebook mentions where you can combine all. Supposedly, I haven't used it yet. Where because I'm going to be doing live updates, tweets, and doing live from the Republican National Convention starting Sunday
Yes.
through Friday. So it's going to be insane.
Well, one thing too that like drives me nuts about it is, and I'm wondering if you experience this problem. I'll get like a notification on my phone about somebody who shared something
Yeah.
for the River's Edge page. I go to click to open it, and it's like, can't open it.
Yeah, it
You
does.
gotta get- it's
They
just like-
have weird guidelines. There's a lot of.
Well, no, they work. The
Yeah.
actual links work. You just can't utilize
it's
them.
Weird.
You have to go to-
like Facebook. The only reason I think it's a good platform is because everyone and their mother has one. Like my grandma has a Facebook. Like,
Oh yeah, there's definitely.
So that's why I think it's the best social network. But I like Twitter just because it's like simple and you can just tweet your thoughts out. But
Yeah, I agree. It's Twitter. I need to get better at Twitter because Twitter
Yeah.
is the way to reach the masses. Facebook, if you're starting out, I think Facebook is probably the
Yeah.
way to start because you get your friends and the friends of the
Yeah.
friends, and you can build quickly. But then it gets to a point where you've oversaturated on Facebook, and you kind of need to look
you
to
gotta space it out.
to
definitely.
other venues. Now, do you use everything? Do you use the Instagram? Do you use?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I try to. I'm not like I'm on my phone, but I'm like like to experience real life, so I definitely put down my phone a lot.
Yeah,
So,
I never put down my phone,
yeah.
but
That's what I have a
it's
manager and stuff for, so that's what's good about it. I can
yeah.
just focus on being creative because that's all I want to do anyways. So
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's nice to be able to get to that point. Um, what's next for you? What's the next step? Obviously, this is a
um,
big project for you.
yeah, this project is gonna be what I'm gonna be rolling into the fall with. I also have a lot of a big single that I really don't want to give up because it's gonna be cool. But I mean, this is my main focus right now. Like I'm not doing any shows this month. Like we're going down. This is my main focus to make this song. I'm gonna be in the studio tomorrow and just see where it takes us. Like I said, hopefully we'll end up on Sports
This was
Center.
perfect timing because
Yeah,
I, he just to give him a plug, he just did the Turner's Iced Tea
Okay.
uh,
yeah,
one, and that took essentially 5 or 6 months to go
yeah,
hash out through all the legalese and proprietary rights. We did it in 34 days because, quite
yeah.
frankly, I'm an anal son of a bitch.
Uh huh.
And I think he'll attest to that, and his manager will attest to that
Oh
too.
no.
Trust me, I am anal. When I want something, it's done, and it's going to be done right. And it was just looking at his schedule long term. Uh, things happen for reasons, and it was just perfect timing, right place, right time. And we're going to do a release early August. Then we're probably going to go back down there the end of October because we want to do a release party in South Beach. But with the Twins soccer schedule, it's
Yeah.
nearly never impossible, highly unlikely that we're going to get down there in August or September. But we're going to get down there late October to really do a release party in South Beach.
Well, it's soccer because I'm not as familiar with Major League Soccer. We don't have a Major League Soccer
Yeah.
team
What
here in
are the Yeah?
Pittsburgh.
Because the Riverhounds, they're pro, but they're like
They're
in a
pro,
different
yes,
league.
but
Well,
they're
to
not.
give a little education real quick, it's sort of like baseball.
Yes,
For example, like in
the
hockey,
Altoona curve
you,
and
you
things like
have
that.
the Wheeling nail the baby penguins up in Wilkes-Barre Scranton. That's like the AAA. You have the NHL. In Major League Soccer, you have the Major League Soccer, which you have 20 teams nationally, and in Canada, you have the USL, which the Riverhounds are a part of.
Mm-hmm.
But this is 19 years for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and let's see, they're 2-9-4 already. And sorry, a little sidebar. They've gone through 4 coaches in 2.5 years, sort of like the Cleveland Cavaliers did, and so forth.
So
But
maybe they'll come out with a championship.
well, good luck with that. But then you have the North American Soccer League, which they have 10 teams, basically 2 in Canada, 4 in Florida, Carolina, Indy, and with expansion to San Francisco next year. So there's 11 teams in the league right now. And really, the NASL is better than the USL Soccer, even though they only have 11 teams in the league. They play a spring and a fall schedule. So, and the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, they did very well. They lost to Orlando City in the U.S. Open Cup. So soccer's come on. Soccer's very big in Western Pennsylvania. Soccer is very big in South Florida with the Hispanic and Latino and the multicultural communities. And soccer is a world sport. And I think once this happens and once we release this in early August, the sky's
Well, I
the
guess
limit
my
with this.
question is, their schedule. Obviously, you said it's packed, and I understand
Oh,
that.
it's insane.
Yeah, no, I
They would
definitely.
have been on this morning, but they actually have training from 9:30 to 11:30, so that's why they
Yeah,
couldn't
no,
call in.
and I understand that. I guess my question is, you look at like the British Premier League, where,
Well,
well,
that's at
I know
another
it's a different level, but my point is, they've got Premier League soccer, then they've got Europe soccer, all these other championships. Is the schedule in the United States? Are there other ventures that they do outside of the normal regular season? Do they have other tournaments and things that they do all year round, or is there a little bit of a break for them?
They do. The All Star game is coming up. The Major League All Star game is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Historically, the USL Soccer plays from April till mid-September. NASL starts early April, runs till early November. Major League Soccer in this country starts about March till mid-November. The argument is to try to get it on like the rest of the world, like what the EPL plays and so forth. You just saw Portugal beat France yesterday
Mm-hmm.
and at a time, for the European Championship. So soccer's big, and I think once international media sees this, the sky's the limit with this.
Jordan, are you ever confused by soccer because it is not the game itself, but just the logistics of the
Yeah,
organization.
I love all
because
sports.
I'll
Like,
be
I'll
quite
watch
honest.
whatever, but I just I don't really.
I like soccer and I watch it, and I
Yeah.
I get into the
That's why I'm excited to learn. I mean, I'm sure they'll be
yeah.
able to tell me some stuff.
No, yeah, I'm
so.
not trying to be demeaning. I mean, I like it, and I watch it,
Yeah.
and even like I watch Liverpool
Yeah.
out in the Premier League, and Mike, you're giving a grimace. Are you not a Liverpool fan?
Look,
What are you? Are you a Man City fan, or are you you're not a you're not an Everton fan, are you?
No, I like a lot of individual players. The Twins
Okay.
like a lot of individual players. But if there's one team that I follow, I mean, if it's Pittsburgh teams, absolutely, I follow everything.
Yeah.
But one individual player, one individual team. I mean, I like Man U.
Ugh.
I like Chelsea.
Oh, God.
Look, I like a lot, But the
I'm gonna
thing
cut.
is,
He's cut off. Go ahead.
but if anybody's ever been to any type of even a second or third division game anywhere in Europe or even in Mexico, the atmosphere is unbelievable. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
hell, the Riverhounds barely have 500 people for God's
You know what
sakes.
though? I will say their supporter section is definitely more adamant and more animated and more engaged than the drunk yinzers that stumble their way into Heinz Field.
I disagree.
I do not.
Well, it's all depending. Miami FC, they have a great fan section. It's called the Dade Brigade. And
they actually just followed me. I was about to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have these big drums and they do a hell of a job.
Yeah. I don't know. I look at that supporter section. They're there. They're animated. They're engaged. And then you've got drunk yinzers who can't. They're slurring together in Heinz Field. You got freaking Pirate fans doing the woo, and then you've got the Penguin fans cutting out early in the third period during a playoff game. I think Pittsburgh honestly has some of the worst fans in the country. Fans that break their arm patting themselves on the back.
Yeah.
As they leave every game early just to beat traffic.
We've got a unique type of fan base. I think the one thing is
a fan base that brings the Steelers to the lowest attendance in the year after 2 seasons of 500. Not even 2 losing seasons.
But this year we just won the Stanley Cup, and the one thing is, and that's why I reached out to this Permane Brothers owner. There is a Pittsburgh bar anywhere in this country that you can go to, and the best thing about it is that there's 3 freaking Permane Brother bars in Miami-Dade and Broward County, and we're going to be participating in one of them, which is phenomenal. So the one thing is, especially on the Steelers side, you can go to any major city, even smaller cities, and find a Pittsburgh bar and watch a Steelers game somewhere in this country.
Yeah.
This is true, but I think that our nationwide fans many times are better than the fans here at home.
I just think I'll put my point on it. I don't say that we have bad fans. I just think they're spoiled. So if we don't win the championship, it's the season was thrown out. Like, you can't win the championship every year. And I just think that Pittsburgh fans are spoiled, and they just hold everyone to a higher standard. And they are drunks too.
Well, good point.
I'll agree with that.
Yes,
good point. I got to give my alma mater a plug, the University of Pittsburgh. I mean, look.
I'm a Pitt fan too.
I'm a Pitt grad, but
let's be honest.
Let's be honest. I mean, we finally got a good coach, but he may end up bolting because we've gone through more coaches in the last 30 years.
I hope not. I like him.
That's because Pitt is a stepping stone school.
I mean, Narduzzi. I mean, look, the goals are to win 10 games. Hell, we haven't won 10 games since like 1987 or 88, for God's sakes.
And we beat all the good teams and then lose to like Youngstown State or something.
Correct. But at the end of the day, I mean, people say, "Oh, well, if we go 8-4 this year, 8-4 is a bunch of bullshit. It's rubbish."
Yeah.
I mean, you got to win 10 games every year, and we hire this guy from Vandy who's in his mid-50s. And I'll give Kevin Stallings a chance on the men's basketball side, but you need a young up-and-coming coach. I mean, this guy is on his downward cycle of his career. And look, you win the ACC and win 25 games here, and God forbid if we make the second round of the NCAA tournament on Pitt basketball side. Oh, that's right. Oh, we can't. We can't because we lose to mid majors every round.
I won't get into Pitt Stadium this week. We'll talk about that later. Jordan, one more time. Where can people find you? Where can people listen in? Where can people buy?
iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and at Jordan York Music, and on Twitter and Instagram.
We'll try to bring you back after the event so we can maybe we'll play the video here on the video side or get people to watch it. So
whatever we can do to help.
All right, sounds good. We're going to be back in just a minute. We're going to wrap the show up, and we're going to have a one-on-one with Mike McMullen. He's doing double duty today here on the River's Edge Radio Network.